Hey, what's up, friends? The next 24 hours or so, I'm basically just going to be reading sci-fi, and I have a whole bunch of books I want to get through. So let's dive in. Hello, what's up? It is Friday night. No, that's wrong. It's Saturday night. Okay, it's Saturday night. It's about 7 p.m. And the plan is basically for the next 24 hours or so. We'll see. I'm just going to read as many sci-fi books as I can. So I have a few books that I'm planning on reading, and let's just dive in. So first one, I'm just slightly under halfway through, but it's Self-Portrait with Nothing by Amy Potwaka. So this one, it is this woman who discovers that her birth mother is this renowned painter she has this cult status of every person who she paints a portrait for, she's able to transfer them from a parallel world into theirs. So she has this like crazy cult-like status of all of these people who are incredibly desperate in life and just really want to see either where they went wrong or how their life could have turned out in other ways. They go to her to get these portraits and have themselves come into this life. She recently went missing, and her birth daughter is kind of brought into the task of trying to figure out where she might have went as being kind of like her closest relative. It's I don't really know what to say. I don't really know how I'm feeling about this one so far. The writing is very blunt, and I don't necessarily know if that's a criticism about it, or I don't necessarily know if I hate that or I like it or not, but it's just very to the point. Every sentence is very blunt. There's not a lot of descriptors, which usually is not my type of writing, but I don't know if I'm just necessarily that interested in what's going on right now. I don't really understand why our main character is so invested in trying to figure out where her birth mother may have went. She's been left like this huge inheritance, which is basically contingent on her birth mother Willow's death, and that kind of seems like her only real motivator, or just trying to figure out where she actually comes from. I'm a little under halfway through this one, and it's really short, so I feel like I should be able to get this done within like the next hour and a half or so. So then the next book that I would like to get to, which I also think is going to be pretty short, is We Could Be Heroes by Mike Chen. I literally just finished another book by him, which was Here Now and Then, which that one was about a man who was a time-traveling secret agent, and a mission goes awry and he gets stuck in the 1990s for 18 years. And when his team finally manages to track him down and bring him back into the future in his own timeline, he has to leave behind a wife and a daughter who he'd had while stranded during this time, and spends it's him trying to like adjust back into his old life and give up everything that he left behind. I really enjoyed that one. I actually really ended up liking it quite a bit, and I thought it was like a great quick, fast-paced time travel story. So in this one, we are following two people who woke up, I believe it was about 2 years before, with absolutely no memory of their previous lives, but woke up with superpowers and have no idea where they came from and really have no idea what to do with their lives. This one man has the ability to erase people's memories, and he uses this to rob banks and has gotten this reputation as being the mind robber who just goes in, robs banks, and then wipes people's memories of everything that happened. And the other person is a woman who has the ability of super strength and super speed, and she's essentially used that to become a vigilante. I believe they meet up in a support group for people who have memory loss, and it kind of goes from there. I really have a feeling I'm gonna like this. I have a feeling that Mike Chen's gonna be an author that I like quite a bit, and very excited to get to it. Then there is Machines Like Me by Ian McEwan. He is the author of Atonement, a book that destroyed me emotionally, and just based on that alone, I have a feeling that I'm really gonna like his other works. Haven't read anything else by him. I think maybe because I was a bit traumatized after reading Atonement, but I'm really hoping that I like this one. So we're following this world where there are artificial humans that can be created and brought into people's lives. So we're following a couple who basically create an artificial human as a companion for them, or just somebody to live in, help them out in their home, something like that. And they end up kind of forming a romantic relationship with him, and we're following like the navigation of them creating this or bringing this person into the relationship and trying to figure out the dynamics of it. And the last one I have is The last one I have is Sleepwalk by Dan Can. This one is the one I know the least about. It is a man who, I believe he does like odd jobs and questionable type of jobs for an employer. And at one point he gets contacted by a woman who's claiming to be his biological daughter. And she makes all of these claims against the company that he works for that makes him really like wonder who he's actually working for and what these jobs he's doing actually are resulting in. So the book is just them trying to unravel exactly what he's actually doing. So those are the 4 books I'm planning on trying to get to, at least. Definitely don't think I'll finish all 4 of them within the next 24 hours, but I have a good feeling that I can at least get started on all of them and maybe finish 1 or 2. And coffee is going to be my friend tonight because I am exhausted, so. Done. And really don't know exactly what I feel about it. I don't think I liked it particularly that much. So as I was saying earlier, we're following this woman Pepper, who her birth mother goes missing and she's trying to help hunt her down. At the same time, there's like this group of seemingly very corrupt and evil art collectors who are also trying to track down her birth mother, Ula, because there's this rumor that she's able to paint people's parallel selves from other worlds and bring them into this world. So essentially they want to take advantage of this and use her to bring people in to like get more money, more resources, get all the secrets from the other worlds. So don't think I really cared that much about the plot that was going on. I didn't really think the mystery that they were trying to figure out was that interesting. Didn't understand Pepper's motivations or really any of the other people who were involved in trying to investigate this. Ula, the birth mother, really disliked her as a character. She was kind of a terrible person. Writing style I didn't love. Just so much about this wasn't that interesting. I think it was a very boring book, if we're being honest. Sci-fi element incredibly light. I don't like it like when books don't really get that much into the sci-fi element or like exactly what's causing it. It was just very much this mystery of like, oh, I can paint people into this universe and I don't know how. So did not particularly like this one that much. Say 2.5-ish stars, but nothing spectacular. So 1 down though. So it's about 10 p.m. now and I am exhausted. So basically just now ready for bed, laying in bed and going to read until I pass out. But what I'm currently reading is We Could Be Heroes by Mike Chen. So I've managed to get about 80 pages in so far and I am enjoying this quite a bit. So I think I kind of talked about this in the intro, but we're following 2 people who have amnesia. So for the past, they woke up like 2 years before and with absolutely no memories of their life beforehand, and both of them woke up with some type of power. So we're following Jamie, who has the ability to go into people's, like read people's memories and go in and remove them if he wants. So he's basically been using this just to rob banks. And then there's Zoe, who has like super speed, super strength, and she's kind of become a bit of a vigilante. So we're just following the 2 of them. At the start of the book, they came into contact where Jamie was robbing a bank, Zoe got involved, they chased each other, and then both of them also go to this like support group for people with memory loss, and they were just in a meeting and realized they recognized each other, and you know, they realized they both have powers. So they're starting to talk about it and realize that their stories are exactly the same. Like 2 years ago, woke up in this apartment, didn't know a single thing. Like the apartment's rent has been mysteriously paid by this company that they can't find any information about. There's all this this stuff. So I think from here they're going to start possibly teaming up and also trying to figure out like what happened to them. So I'm having a good feeling about this. I really think I'm going to like it. I'm also really getting a good feeling about Mike Chen as an author just in general. Like I feel like I might like his work quite a bit. I might be jinxing myself, but just as an aside too, he has a Star Wars book called Brotherhood, which is about Obi-Wan and Anakin, and I desperately want to read this. Their relationship is like one of my favorite things in the Star Wars universe, and I really anticipate that that book's going to be like an incredibly emotional read for me. So I'm really hoping that I do continue to like him as an author, because that could be fantastic. So yeah, probably not going to check in again tonight because I am really feeling ready for bed. It was a long day, so I'm really feeling ready for bed, and I think I'm just going to keep reading until I pass out. Hello, happy Sunday. Sunday now it is, yeah. So it's about noon and finally just finished reading We Could Be Heroes. Wait, this lighting's terrible. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. But I just finished reading We Could Be Heroes. This was like just a fun little action adventure of these two people who have superpowers and are just trying to figure out where they got them and trying to track down like this mysterious company that they believe may have given them to them. Yeah, so it was just like a fun time. It wasn't anything that spectacular. It wasn't mind-blowing, wasn't that exciting, but I thought it was fun and like just a very quick kind of read. Yeah, like I think I'd recommend it for like a quick book where you don't really have to put that much thought into it. It's nothing that intense. It's just like a very light, quick kind of thing. So yeah, this was pretty decent. And then since then, I have started reading Machines Like Me by Ian McEwan, and I'm 60-ish pages in so far. So definitely like a bit too early to really have that many thoughts on this one. But as I was saying kind of in the introduction, so we're following this man, and he and his girlfriend purchased this like artificial human. So it's kind of like, how do they describe it? So they purchase Adam, who's like a synthetic human. So essentially he's machine built, artificial intelligence, and there are these new items that are available to be purchased. So he purchases him essentially just to be a companion, and we're following, so far all that's really happened is they are starting to code his personality and decide kind of exactly what they want from him, and they are just starting to date and figure out their relationship as well. Not super invested so far, it's still very early on, and yeah, it's I'm not sure if I'm enjoying it too much, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not really connecting with it that much. I'm definitely hoping that it will get better, but so far the synthetic human Adam has been a very, very small part of the story, unfortunately. Like I was really thinking he'd be more the forefront, but right now it's just really dealing with the relationship dynamics of what's his name, of Charlie and Miranda, and them trying to figure out their relationship before bringing in Adam, I guess. Okay, so I am done and don't really know how I feel right now. So like one of the major themes in this was like, how do you take an artificial intelligence who like their entire programming is based on logic, order, and specific sets of rules, and how do you take them and force them to live with humans who are basically completely illogical at every turn, and by that basically they are unable to ever be happy because they can't understand what the humans that they live with are understanding or how they think. So it really was just like a sad little story about this synthetic human who could not find a way to fit in properly with the humans he lived with and couldn't understand essentially what they were doing or understand his love for them, their love for each other, the possible love for a child, like all of this. He just could not seem to comprehend it and could not find a way to be happy in life because of that. It was kind of written weirdly too. So took place in the 1980s in an alternative history where Alan Turing is still alive, and he was one of the people who was leading the development into artificial intelligence. So he's actually one of the supporting characters who they go to get more information about it, which was interesting. And they did talk quite about his discoveries and a lot of the history that he actually developed as well. So it was like a weird alternative history, and I don't know, it felt like a lot of it was very weird. Kind of, I don't understand why it was kind of placed at this point, because it took place in the 1980s and there was a lot of different like alternative history choices that seemed a little strange. So overall, the part of like the interactions between humans and artificial intelligence was interesting, and it was like a very good exploration exactly of how like the complete mesh of personalities and different ways of thinking like necessarily wouldn't reach each other that well. So that part was interesting. Otherwise, it just wasn't really that working that well for me. Incredibly intelligently written. It did a lot of exploration into like history of a lot of these like scientific developments, and a lot of explanation about how certain things have come to be. But I don't know, otherwise I didn't really connect to it. I didn't think it was that great, and I didn't really care too much, I guess. In the end, it wasn't gripping in any way really. So again, like decent read, just nothing that special. And so now on to the last book that I want to read, which is Sleepwalk. I'm 40 pages into it. I don't think I'm going to finish this tonight before I finish off the vlog, but I'm just going to see how much more I can get in. It's about 5 p.m. now, so I'm going to give myself like another hour or two to try and read, and then I will check in and sign off. Okay, and I decided to actually DNF Sleepwalk because I'm just really not feeling it. It's this man who does like these weird jobs for this mysterious company, like a lot of transporting people or abducting people, that kind of stuff. And he gets contacted by this young woman claiming to be his biological daughter, and I'm really not feeling it. It's not that interesting. I don't really care, to be honest. So I'm going to DNF it. And then with that, actually, so basically I got through all 4 of the books that I was planning to do this weekend, which kind of crazy that happened in 24 hours. So overall, pretty successful that way. Didn't really love any of the books. I feel 3 that I finished were, in fact, all 3 stars. So, you know, they were okay. None of them that spectacular. Not terrible, but nothing super interesting, unfortunately. But I'm still very, very happy that I managed to get 3 books done, and another one just off my TBR. So all in all, I would definitely say that this was a successful 24 hours. So I'm gonna end off the vlog here. If not already, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.